Greetings, Cleveland, and welcome to Creative Focus, the show that illuminates some of Cleveland's most talented and creative artists across the genres of film, dance, music, theater, and visual arts. I'm your host, Cornell Calhoun III, and I'm thrilled to have as my guest today on Creative Focus, filmmakers Mr. Johnny Wu and Mr. Gaines Strouse. Gentlemen, welcome to Creative Focus. Let's chop it up.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, hey, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the world premiere movie, let's just get a little information for you guys, for people who may not know. Give your background and kind of like how you got into film.
You can go ahead, son.
Okay. I started, you can see I'm a little bit older with some years and some miles, but I started in local television. It's really weird. Just out of the blue, a friend of mine was working for a local television station and said, "Hey, you want to come and work for TV?" And I'm like, "No, not really, not really into it." And he said, "Oh, come on." So I talk. Okay. And I got into it. I like the creativity of it, working with people, different people bringing different skills together, and just really enjoyed it. Went on, earned a film degree, went on to Los Angeles and lived the Hollywood life at the 99-cent store, that kind of Hollywood life.
Right.
But yeah, lived there for a few years before I moved back here to Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, and Johnny?
Started making movie in 1998. Started a small company, and then we started doing lots of small businesses, productions, and then during the break time between work for clients, we just started to make movies. Got fortunate enough to doing lots of different short films and eventually a bunch of different features, and they did really well and people loved them. My genre usually is the action type movie, so that's why I go for it, and that somehow there's a good audience for it, so everybody enjoy watching it.
So what's the film process for each of you briefly? I mean, so how do you come up with your ideas? Is it based on something you read or something you see, or is it a dream? And then you say, "Hey, I want to make a movie," and then you sit down and you start writing. What's the process for you? Because I know you're a writer, Gaines, right? Yeah,
right.
So what's the process?
It's the process is, you get inspiration from everywhere. I mean, I can't stop inspiration. It's just from everything. It might be a song. It might be a scene from another movie. Yeah. It might be something somebody says. Right. So that it just comes from all over, and so you just get, like, one of the things that I did that I think maybe other people that are writers or movie makers might be, is I went through and looked at public domain plays and movies. Okay. Now you can't copy it word for word, but like, okay, that gives me an idea. I can make something out of that. So I made wrote a short script about that's a comedy, and it's about people gossiping about each other and people miscommunicating with each other. A short 15-minute film that I think we're going to be shooting a little bit later this spring. But so you can get inspiration from music, from public domain plays and films. I once went through and just looked at old radio dramas.
Wow.
And you can't copy it word for word, but like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. Here's a guy who, his wife knocks him out, kills him, so she could go live with her boyfriend, and he comes back and he haunts them. That's a great idea. I like that. That's why I made a short script of that. So they come from all over. You can get them anywhere.
And what about you, Johnny? Same thing? Or?
No, well, most of the time, so far right now, my project being based on what I have dreamed of. Because I watch a lot of movies, I love to watch the TVs. I force myself to watch TV, and then when I'm watching movies or TV shows, I actually not watching for the content of entertainment. I watch it because I want to study how they do it. So while watching certain effects, like, how do they do this? And somehow at the night when I go to bed, most of this can become dreams. For example, last night I have a dream about my cat, the old cat I had, wearing a Chinese hat and a cape. And he was a superhero. So like, maybe I can make that a story. But again, working with animals is a pain in the butt, so I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, most of my film is being based on what I had a dream of, or people I know, and get to put it together.
Okay, and for both of you, what impact do you want your films to have on the audience that's watching the film?
I think for me, especially for this movie, Bullets, Brothers, and Blood, I just want people to have a good time. It's a, martial arts, shoot 'em up, plot twist here, plot twist there. You know, just want people to just sit back and have a good time and say, hey, that was pretty good. You know, now some people are going to see it though, and Ryan, our main character, his brother Will, you know, has an alcohol problem. And there's a little bit of that in the story. I mean, it's not all about that, but there's a little bit of that in the story. And some people might see that and say, you know, I can identify with the frustrations and the heartache of helping somebody with an addiction. So that's in there too. But 99.99% of it, it's just going to be, you know, this guy did this and this guy shoots that and they jump over there and they do this, and it's just a lot of action.
What about you, John?
The same. For every movie I make, you probably see most of them.
Right, yeah.
They all for entertainment purposes. Even though there's a little tiny subplot storyline that can let people think a little bit, but majority time for you to go and have a time and forget about what you have done in your world, and forget about your hardness you have in your life, but come and entertain yourself to a little 2 hours of break time and relaxation.
Yeah, it's like escapism. So like going to an amusement park, you know, you just go there to have a good time. When it's over, you go home. You know, that's sort of what it is.
Now I'm going to ask both of you. How many times do you watch your own movies?
I'm tired. Every time, because every time I shoot a movie, I usually edit it myself. Like for Bullet Brothers and Blood, I finally got the name right because I have a hard time before. Everybody was making fun of me. We call it BBB because it's easier.
Right.
Yeah. For Bullet Brothers and Blood, every day I had to sit through it and watch it over and over again. So I probably had watched it more than hundreds of times.
Wow.
And then like maybe later today I had to go back and watch it again on a bigger screen so I could see whether I missed something or something I made a mistake. Like 2 days ago, I was re-editing a scene because I just didn't like the look. I was like, damn it, this looks so bad. So I went back there and do it. And then readjusted a fight sequence because it got too slow, looked fake. So I had to make it a little bit, speed it up. So you always find something new. But once the movie is done, I will not be like George Lucas, reinvent the wheels and redo it again. No, once it's done, we're going to move forward to the next project.
So do you ever watch it, though, just for the entertainment quality? Do you get a chance to watch it for the entertainment quality? Or is that doesn't come until it's actually on the big screen? Like, you know, when it goes to the big screen, you got to sit there. You can't take it down and edit it then. So what about that?
For me, it would be still the same. Like we're having the premiere March 2nd on Saturday at 7:30. And I'll be sitting there very nervous because I'm going to be listening to every mistake that I didn't fix and curse myself for not fixing them on time. So at the end of the premiere, I'm going to say to everybody, you guys are sitting here enjoying this because this is a focus group. So I'm going to go back, fix a little bit more, and then get it out there.
Oh, so you might, after the world premiere, go back and edit some more, huh?
Readjust a little bit, make sure that
wow.
Because before it goes to the distribution, I want to make sure that everybody can hear and everybody can listen. Everybody can make sure everything is perfect. And once out of the distribution, I'm stopping and say, this is done. I'm not going to do touch anymore.
Mm-hmm. What about you, guys?
Yeah, pretty much the same. You know, he's been sending this over to me like, okay, what do you think of this? What about this? And we would sort of go back and forth. But so, gosh, I probably watched it already, probably 6-7 times.
Okay.
But same thing, like when it's done and it's locked and this is it, you know, that's probably it.
Now, one thing he hasn't seen yet is with the music. So I try to avoid him to look at that because I want him to watch it on the big screen and enjoy the music sound.
Okay, so my next question is, in terms of your film and festivals, how does that work? Now, have you sent the film out to festivals? Are you going to wait until the world premiere, or is it how does that work with you?
We just talked about that earlier. Mm-hmm. I already submitted to 6 film festival.
Okay.
I already got into 2, so yeah.
Okay.
So the reason I work a little bit different from most filmmakers, where a lot of filmmakers like to submit first to the festivals, and then once they get all these awards and they use that to leverage for distribution.
Right.
I use the film that we put together as a leverage to say, this is the product, this is how good it is, and let's see how many people, distributor-wise, want to get it. So we have distributors looking at it at the same time and submit to the film festival. If I win an award, I will let the distributors know, hey, by the way, I just won this. hey, by the way, I just got to the festival. I don't want to wait until later because I want the movie to be out to the public right away. So people can see it, people can say, this is a Johnny Wu film, this is a Johnny Wu and Gaines film, and they're going to enjoy it because it's all right there, because I don't want to become dated.
Okay.
And what's good then is, when you're in these festivals, it's good PR promotion for a film. Maybe it's been out for 6 months. And oh gosh, we just got into this festival. We just won this award. And so you can, do a little blurb about, go see the movie if you haven't seen it yet. It just won this award. And it keeps the movie in people's mind and, until they go and see it. Right.
Okay, so are you both movie watchers?
I do. I watch a lot.
Give me an all-time favorite movie, or one, at least one.
I just watched, not recently, a couple of months ago, a show on Netflix called Bodies. It's incredibly well put together. I think it was a UK production, and it's well put together because it's almost like it's a time travel criminal drama where a person discovered a dead body in a certain time in the past, and then maybe 20 years, 30 years later, the same body appeared. 34 years later, the same body appeared, same exact body, and so on. And then you realize at the end, I should have given you the story, but this is a spoiler. At the end, we realized the future generation actually time traveled back. So the guy who gets shot in all this four timeline is the same person, but got somehow dropped at the same time at the same place.
Wow.
So it's mind blowing, and I enjoyed it. It's but you had to sit there and watch because you had to listen to them talk, and the British accent sometimes it's hard for me to understand. But
yeah.
What about you guys?
Yes.
Do you have a
Just
favorite?
Saturday, we went with my wife when we saw Wonka. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's a great movie, really well made, funny, touching. So that was a good movie. Favorite movie? Wow, if I had to pick a favorite movie, if I was stranded on an island and I only had one movie that I could watch, it would probably be The Godfather. Okay. I think most guys like The Godfather. I think they sort of like that genre.
I actually never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I got so many, but probably if I could only watch one movie, I probably would watch Devil with a Blue Dress with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the world premiere, March the 2nd. I want to get it right. Bullets, Brothers, and Blood. BBB. Let's talk about that. How? Because Gaines, you're the writer, right? Okay. And where did the concept come from?
It comes from all over, from different things. One of my favorite films is El Mariachi by Robert Rodriguez. It's a Spanish film, a Mexican film. So it's one of my favorite films. Watched it, and I'm like, this will make a really good martial arts film. So because it's about, one guy who's a musician, he's looking for a job. Another guy is a gangster, and he's running from the gang, and their identity gets crossed. And I go, we could do that. In martial arts, two of the main, I guess you call them themes, would be the quest. I'm looking for my lost brother. I saw one gang stole the Buddha out of a temple, and this other guy's going out to try to get the Buddha back for his village. So there's the quest. So we put that in there. Then there's the revenge story. You killed my brother, you killed my father. I'm getting back at you for that. So we put those two in this, and we have, the bad guy who's out for revenge, and we have an innocent guy who's just out looking for his brother. He just wants to find his brother and bring him back home. So put those two together, put some plot twist in there, and that's basically the nuts and bolts of what it's about and where it came from.
So how did you two guys meet to collaborate? You've been knowing him a while, or what?
Not really, that long.
Okay, so
probably we met off one of the film festivals locally called the Indie Gathering.
Okay,
and he'd be sitting there listening to me talking about producer. And can I use the word that?
Yeah, to bleep that out.
To bleep that out. I think the word is still for the same. So, people use that on TV anyway in channels. So we get to talk to each other and get to know each other. And then last year, I think it's July and August, he reached out to me and then said, I have this project. Would you be interested to take a look and then maybe want to work with me and get this done?
So yeah, we met at a film festival, and
That's cool, yeah.
And I just started watching some of his movies, And then you were the executive producer on Assassin's Game.
Yes.
So I'm watching, I'm going, oh my gosh, I got a movie just like this. I mean, it's got some of the same locations, some of the same characters. It's just like this. You know, I think, you know, you might be interested in it. So I submitted it to a film festival. I came in second in feature films.
That's great.
I said, hey, you know, this is second, but I think it's sort of like, you know, your genre, and tell me what you think. Just give it a look.
How important are titles to both of you guys? I mean,
That's a good one.
yeah,
That's a good question.
yeah. I mean, do you really agonize over the title of a film, or because there's a lot of different concepts that people use, you know, for titling films. I like elaborate stuff, and people always have to reel me in and say, no, you don't need all of that. Sure, but how does that work for you? And how did it work for Bullets, Brothers in Blood? Yeah.
Long story. I had the script. I don't know if you know William Lee. He lives in Columbus. He's now in Cincinnati, but he's a producer, director, writer, actor. And I said, hey, William, just give me some feedback on this. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. And he went over and he has some suggestions. He says, I don't like the title. He says, and he just came up with Bullets, Brothers, and Blood. And I go, yeah, I like that.
What was the original title?
Yeah.
What was the original?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm curious about it.
He says it sounds sort of like a 60s movie. And I go, well, yeah, it sort of is. But he says, so we just said, what do you think? And I said, yeah, I think it's great.
So talk about the process of getting the movie initially in place. Yeah.
So once he told me about he got projects to script for me to take a look at it, we talk about whether we should do a action type or any drama type. I told him that I'd rather do action because that's easy to get it distributed fairly quickly. And that's my forte. I know how to do that pretty well.
Right.
So we go back and forth. He sent me the script. Originally, I want to do everything in winter because I love winter time.
I know you do.
And I know the cast and crew freeze to death, but they love it too because when you come to see the movie on big screen, they love the look and the feel. Yeah. But he kept telling me, no, because the storyline is all based on summertime. So I said, maybe let's start filming this in spring. Because, summer is usually very busy for me for the Cleveland Asian Festival.
Right, exactly.
The Culture Garden one word.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't have that much time to dedicate it.
Right.
So sure, let's get trying to do it in March. So we start filming in March, which is almost a year now. And somehow I got very sick last year. And I almost going to die. Wow. Because I have a heart issue, a high blood pressure issue. And they managed to give me medicine to cool it down a little bit. So in March, I was like like a zombie working with him. I did tell him ahead of time, I said, we're going to make this movie, but I will be very much like a zombie and kind of be awkward. But we managed to make it work. So the planning was crazy because we have so many people involved, so many scenes in different places. So schedule become a headache. We planned a schedule of about 3 to 4 weekends more than that, about 3 months of shooting on weekends only.
Okay.
But somehow at the end, when we finished everything, it's only 11 days. 11 days of weekends time that we spent.
I was going to ask you how long it took.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was like, I was sick. We didn't go more than 8 hours a day. Sometimes he went home early because we wrap early. And it was easy to the degree because somehow everybody worked together and made it work. There were some times like the final battle sequence, I had to cut off a lot of section because the actors rehearsed a 5 minutes long fight. And for me, you want to do an action movie, but you want to make sure the action is part of the story.
Right.
Not just, I'm going to showcase the fight, let's showcase the fights only and then spend 5 minutes watching the fight. That's boring.
Okay.
To me, it's boring.
Right.
So on set, I told the actors, let's get rid of this one, let's get rid of this one, let's get it moving forward.
Yeah, and the script is written, it's written for a budget. So there's a lot of exterior scenes. A lot of alleyways, by this building, this is happening in a parking lot. So there's a lot of exterior scenes there just because it's you can shoot there cheaply, quickly, and get it done. So So there's a lot of exteriors. And then when he's talking about shooting in the wintertime, I'm like, oh, wow, I don't know. It's going to be cold. Yeah.
So, Johnny, you did all the camera work primarily, or?
I'm mostly directing, and I have people to help us, camera people.
Okay, and then
we usually have more than 2 cameras.
Okay, and you did all the editing.
I do editing.
Okay, and so you 11 days total.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we would often use a second unit. So while Johnny's doing one scene, Keith Collins or would be out, and he was shooting, some another scene there, or some other. Nick I did a couple of chit-chatty, talky kind of scenes.
Yeah, he did that because I was kind of feeling ill, so I had to him. You got to go do something right now, so I can cool down.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So you know what? I've got a clip of day 9. I think I chose day 9 for the audience to take a look at it. You guys are on the set of Bullets, Blood, and Bullets, Brothers, and Blood. Okay, BBB. I better stick to BBB then. Let's take a look at day 9, the process of shooting this incredible film.
How you feeling?
I'm reflecting.
Roll camera, Roger, please.
That would look pretty good. Timing is good on that.
It's a wrap.
Sweet.
We're gonna have a minute.
You can just follow them in the middle. You can follow from the back. Don't follow from the front, because you don't want to see his face.
Finally, then we're done today.
Yay.
Finally, Gaines can go home early. Yes!
Yay.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. So Johnny, let me ask you a question. This whole process, did everything turn out the way you wanted it to? If there was something you could do different, would you?
Yes and no. So I was happy to do a lot of scenes that we shot. I was a little bit disappointed when I was not there and the shot didn't come the way I wanted to. Not your scene, the other people. So There's nothing you can do about it because that's how it is in Hollywood too. I also noticed some of the fight sequences, the budget did not connect to like look real. So here's the beauty of post-production. If I see a scene or there's somebody not connecting the punch, I will actually add 2 frames of the punch or the hand and CGI the hand extra more. It looks like actually punch the person. In 2 seconds, you don't see a difference. You actually don't actually get a real punch. If I also have problem with the scene, I would just cut to different angles. It'll make it work. So overall, I was very happy. I did have lots of problem with the audio just because we were shooting outdoor most of the time. And at one point, we hear cracking noises because the boom operator moved too much that we hear click, 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 click noises like crazy. But technology is such a wonderful thing we have right now that you can actually be in post-production, clean out every background noise, get rid of them, and you can hear the dialogue really well.
Question. How do you think your upbringing influenced this movie at all? Or did it? You know, where you came from, the writing, the camera work, I mean, the whole process of making this film.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, when my family really imposed on me a work ethic and responsibility. You have a responsibility. So when I start something, I feel like I have a responsibility to at least get this finished, and always do my very best at it. You always give number one. If you're in sports, you're working with the team, you always want to do your best for the team. So you're always giving it number one. And when you're making a movie, it's the same thing. You want to give it your very best. You don't want to let your teammates down. So I think that inside of me, that really, has an influence on the movies I make.
Johnny, what about you?
I grew up in a very diplomatic environment. My father was a diplomat. And so he knows a lot of people in the industry, not only here in China and Taiwan. So he will take us all the places to see different shows, different acrobatic shows, movies. I remember one day I watched probably 11 version of Bruce Lee, how he died. That was a long day for me. I hated it so much. So that's what I remembered. Mm-hmm. And he also know a lot of people. We actually have a very close relative. It's actually a very big filmmaker in Hong Kong. Not gonna name a name, but you won't be able to find much information anyway. So he did not really inspire us, but my father always owns more than 5,000 originally Betamax and then VHS tape of all type of movies.
Wow.
He loves to watch it after he retired from the diplomacy. So I grew up watching all this movies with him, hanging out with all different people, watching different behind the scene going on. It got me into a way that I love to do organized events. So when I was 14 years old, I should put together a diplomat's wife choir group so they can perform in different places in the different embassies. So it got me to understand how to organize well. So then after that, I went to school and got an MBA in marketing branding. So that got me a little bit going. Met a guy who's really talented eyes in photography. We joined forces together and then started the MDI, our business company, in the movies.
What was the hardest? What do you think was the hardest artistic choice you had to make in terms of the movie? Was it something you wanted to do, but artistically you just couldn't, or what do you think?
Yeah, when you're dealing with low budget, you many times have to make compromises. And one thing, you're talking about, if we could go back and change something. Everybody's going to watch this movie. There's a scene. I'm not going to give away what happens because it's an important scene, and it takes place in a men's room.
Oh.
And I spent weeks writing this scene out. I mean, I just like this is, and it just, when we got there, we got on set. The men's room wasn't big enough to do it that way. I mean, it was barely big enough for 2 guys to get in there. You could not get a crew in there. So it's like, okay, we got to go to plan B here. And like I said, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to be like, what's the problem? But I'm going to be like, but If you could just see what I saw when I wrote that.
Yeah.
Right.
The funny thing in that is that a week later we saw a play that had exactly how he wanted it.
Wow.
But we're like, we were shot the scene. Like, we're gonna move on.
Yeah. And that's the thing about, any piece of art. After a while, you do it, and you just gotta let it go. It's done. You gotta let it go, and it's time to move on to something else.
Let's take a look at the trailer. See what we got. Here's the trailer of the film. Bullets, brothers, and blood. Did I get it right?
Got it.
All right.
Hey, Travis, it's me. I think I have an idea.
You know, Dwight, you're just a dumbass who got caught with his pants down.
I spent 3 fucking years in that fucking prison. I want my fucking money.
Okay.
Hey, Amanda.
The cemetery?
I have to tell Will.
He used to have a little place off Miller's Pike.
You need a partner. You need me.
Put the phone down.
Wait,
Your silly game is messing up our human capital.
Hey, Dwight. A lot of people walk into this town. Not everybody walks out. Prick.
Serious talk.
you don't want me to call the police.
Man, I can't wait. So Johnny and Gaines, what are you most proud of about this film? Would you say?
We had great cast and great crew. I mean, the acting in it, was just some of all the performances were just really great. I mean, the actors were in there giving 1,000%. Our crew was amazing. They made miracles out of nothing that we had. So they were in there. And so I think it's just I think we really caught lightning in a bottle here, where you have a great cast and crew coming together and they did something great.
What about you, John?
Yeah, the same. Actually, this is the first time we're working together, and we don't have our ego to overtop each other. We just talk it out and then figure something out, and working really well. I'm hoping in the future we can work together again. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so let's tell everybody when and where the film will be.
March 2nd, 7:30 at
the Atlas Cinema Lakeshore 7, which is on Euclid, Ohio.
Do you have any of that information on the website? If someone...
You can go to our Eventbrite website, which is the BBB, the 3 B's,
right.
Premiere.eventbrite.com.
I'll give it to me one more time. So
BBBpremiere.eventbrite.com.
Okay.
And then we also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
So you can go to Facebook and
with the same title of the film?
Bullet Brothers and Club.
Okay.
The full title.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was great.
Look forward
Thank you.
to it,
Hope to see you there.
Hey,
yeah.
We're going to try to make it. We're going to try to make it. Well, that's it, Cleveland. We're out. But remember, a true artist is not only inspired, but inspires others. I'm Cornell Calhoun III for TV 20, and creative focus. Until the next time becomes our time. Be well, be safe.